Welcome everybody to the 100th episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi?
We did it!
Yay! We did it! But first, I am your main host, the Artificial Dragon.
I'm your co-host and bartender, Darth Celine.
And as I said before, welcome to our 100th episode. And at the time of this recording, we have also reached over 3K subscribers. This is a double monumentous occasion for the both of us and the channel.
Exactly. This is great.
Yeah. And
It only took 4 years, but we did it.
Yeah, we finally did it. I mean, compared to my old YouTube channel, this podcast has done wonders, Hannah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just a little bit speechless at how far we've gotten, let alone 3K, but also on our 100th podcast episode. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you everybody for supporting us from the very beginning up till now.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
This wouldn't have been possible without your support, both emotionally and financially. We've been through our ups and downs, but our love towards this franchise of Star Wars has always been there. And the love for our community has always been there. So thank you from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We really appreciate the help getting to this goal.
Yeah. I'm going to be a little bit speechless for this because I never in my lifetime would I have figured that we would have that many subscribers to one channel that I made.
When we started, I never thought we would get here. Seriously.
Yeah, I was just shooting the shit, talking about Star Wars stuff, and decided to name my podcast after a Lamau title Kid came up with.
Yeah, it's great.
It is
really
amazing.
Great.
Yeah, so once again, I know I keep repeating myself every single time at the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all of your love and support, and I am looking forward to the future episodes that we do for you guys.
Oh, hell yeah.
But getting sentimental aside, we have a very, very special episode today.
But we will get into that. We got to get our self-promos out.
Yeah, we got to do the important shit first. If you guys, once again, love our content, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/canmail. Once again, that's patreon.com/canmail. You could contribute to any amount, the lowest being $2 and the highest being $10. Fortunately, the Discord is open to the public. Anybody could join. If you want to talk about general Star Wars lore, share memes, or just have a chill-ass time with me and my co-hosts and the rest of our small community, you can do that. However, if you contribute to our smuggler tier and up, you will be able to have access to private VIP channels that nobody else in the channel server has access to, including exclusive voting rights for our next Patreon episodes. We do have two.
We have two lined up. We got next month of videos lined up.
Yeah, we have two lined up currently. We kind of had a backlog building up. It's not going to be anybody's fault, but we will get around to those, I promise you. But aside from that, we also have our Patreon art piece. Technically, it's last month's art piece, but I'm going to present it today because, well, gotta be consistent with that.
I've yet to get the new one.
It is still a work in progress. You've seen the sketches, Anna. And this Patreon art piece is on the bringer of chaos herself. Abeloth, the biggest and scariest mummy in all of Star Wars.
She just wants love.
Yeah, she just wants love if she didn't want to devour my soul first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would happily accept her love if she didn't devour me.
Well, to be fair, look how warm that hug looks.
That is very true. She would probably give the warmest hugs.
Yes.
So I do not blame people for not resisting that. But speaking of that, we do have a merch store. Gotta remind everybody about that. We do have posters available. Of course, with each Patreon art piece, you could contribute to the highest amount, which is the consular, which is $10 a month. You will be able to download them, print them out, put them as your wallpaper. But if you want just the posters itself, they are available on our merch store at fourthwall.com, and each one of them is $40. So pretty good deal for a large ass poster. We do have a couple of other items such as coffee mugs, phone cases, stickers. We could bring in a couple of more merch ideas, but we
gotta get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we need to get a ball rolling and actually get some people interested in buying our stuff first before we push forward more ideas. But like with a Patreon, every dollar amount helps. Goes towards the thumbnails, it goes towards the Patreon art pieces, everything else. We always make sure to contribute it to the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. So make sure to drop by the merch store. Every little amount helps. But yeah, speaking of our Patreon supporters, we got a couple of new ones that I want to announce.
More?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And there's another special announcement I do want to present at the end there before we go over to you. So here's a shout out for all of our highest tier patrons. We have Alan Lee, Alan Martinez, Balin Forn, Y Wolves, Bob the Nerd, Brittany Digger, Caleb, Darth Vaber, Dr. Embos, Gobs, Josh Travis, Lee Fott, Milo, Tristan H, and Ultrasound 7.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you everybody so much for supporting our podcast for the past 4 years. And once again, I hope you are looking forward to more content like this.
And of course, our posthumous supporter, the Turtle.
Oh, yeah. He's been a dear friend of the channel, and I know he is smiling upon us from up there and going to be very proud of us for reaching this milestone, Hannah. Yes. So yeah, thank you for being an inspiration to us all, Urk the Turtle. Mm-hmm. But as speaking of him, this will be a little bit of a special announcement. I do know, Hannah, I mentioned the idea of a one-shot to you, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, so we have our Hunt for the Interact campaign, which is for the patrons. I know there's a lot of people out there that are interested in joining a D&D session, but don't exactly have the time for a committed campaign.
That's what one-shots are for.
Exactly. This is just an idea for now, but I'm thinking about doing a one-shot. Specifically right around December, somewhere around there. Specifically, it'll be Life Day themed. You'll be out saving Life Day, a save Christmas story, that sort of thing. If you guys are interested, be sure to let me know. And unlike with the Hunt for the Interact campaign, anybody in the Patreon contributions will be able to join. Whether it's the lowest tiers or the highest tiers, you have a chance to join. I will announce it. I put a poll in the YouTube community a little while ago, and if people do like the idea, then I will try and get the ball rolling for everybody. But if it does happen, remember, Patreon, contribute to it, please. But yeah, still working on the idea, but it will be, the working title will be Saving Life Day.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the end of my little announcements.
Okay, so on to news from Celine's Cantina. Darth Karis has finally revealed herself.
Yeah, Darth Karis, the terrifying master of Celine. Jesus Christ.
Yes. Go check out that post. Seriously. I put 3 months of work into it.
And it definitely shows. I really like the little build up to Darth Karis, and especially her like, oh really, Selena just crushes her lightsaber.
Yes, this woman does not fuck around.
No, she does not fuck around.
There's a reason Celine is terrified of her.
I'm looking forward to the extension of, I suppose, the Darth Karis arc.
We shall see.
Yeah, I'm looking.
I'm expecting a question on what she actually looks like, because I have not uploaded her picture to my blog I've done with everyone else.
Oh, I keep on forgetting that, because I know you showed me pictures of Darth Karras before.
Yes, I have.
No. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep silent about it then.
So, seriously, ask and you shall receive.
Indeed. Also, if you look very, very closely, there's going to be a not safe for work section with Golan and his girlfriend.
Yes, I'm also dabbling into adult asks, so those who are of age, if you want to send in dirty asks, there's a list.
Yeah, I was legitimately surprised when a certain somebody asked that of you. Jesus.
Hey, but it was for you, so yay!
Thank you. You know who you are.
All right,
But
shall
yes.
we get into the actual meat of this episode?
Yeah, a little while ago, I decided to do a random poll in the YouTube community asking who is the more popular character from the original trilogy. I did Luke, Leia, and Ben Kenobi. I was fully expecting Ben Kenobi to win in a landslide, but then everybody voted Luke. I'm like, okay, that's going to be the subject of our 100th episode now.
And yes, for a while, we did talk about potentially doing the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
But scheduling issues happened.
Yeah, unfortunately, just like with us, real life shit happens, so it's understandable. But Luke is the next best thing.
Sorry, everybody, you gotta wait just a little bit longer for the Mandos.
Yeah, we're going to be a little tease about the Mandalorians over here, because we love you guys. But yes, we are talking about the OG protagonist that kickstarted the Star Wars franchise as we know it.
The most infamous twink in the galaxy,
Yep,
Luke Skywalker!
the most infamous twink, which is a very accurate statement, but we'll get that near the end of the episode. Jesus Christ. But yeah, before we actually get into the episode, there's a reason why I rarely, or I wouldn't say I don't hate. It's just that I'm not exactly looking forward to doing the research material for movie characters.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, with Padme, with Qui-Gon,
With
Dooku, so many others I can't think of. But Luke is a special case because
He's a main character.
yeah, there's a shit ton of novel series that he stars in. I can't remember the exact number at the top of my head, but the Wikipedia article for Luke Skywalker was like over 150 pages long.
Oh my god.
And I think the canon article is even longer.
This is just funny about just the wiki website itself. Whenever I'm trying to scroll to look at shit, an ad will pop up and bring me all the way back to the top of the article. So that's why I'm not going to ever look at Luke's Wikipedia page unless it's on my laptop.
I'm surprised you didn't invest in an ad blocker yet. Anyways, moving on. But yeah, let me go ahead and give you... Okay, I know I said Luke Skywalker is going to be a long... it's got a long history to dive into,
This is
but
the Cliff Notes version.
yes, this is going to be the Cliff Notes version of
Go
Luke
read
Skywalker.
some of those novels for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just going to be talking about the personality, the character of Luke, and some of the more notable stories that I can remember.
Some.
Yeah, not all of them, because we'd be here all fucking night if I decide to do that.
Yeah, we'd be here for about 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like that, but a majority of the audience does not. But before we actually get into it, I'm going to share you a nice little quote
I was
from
waiting
Luke.
for that.
Yeah. Fortunately, I decided to change it up a little bit, not pick one of his movie quotes, but actually a quote from one of the novels. There are times when the end justifies the means, but when you build an argument based on a whole series of such times, you may find that you've constructed an entire philosophy of evil.
That's an interesting way to look at that.
Yeah, and that's a good explanation of Luke Skywalker as a character.
That's essentially Luke in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's a couple of other quotes, but they're not as potent as this one. I think a Of course, we got the classic one of, "You failed, your majesty. I'm a Jedi like my father before me."
Yeah.
That's like the Luke Skywalker quote, and I love it so much.
Or I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me.
The classic mantra for the Jedi as well, yeah. But yeah, so Luke is the original quintessential character of Star Wars. I mean, a lot of universes and fictional universes have a similar archetype, but I like to think Luke Skywalker is one of the better examples.
Yeah.
But before we actually get into Luke himself, I always love doing these behind the scenes sort of things.
Behind the scenes is so much more fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it gives me an excuse to practice my filmmaking chops, because those are always fun. In the original draft of New Hope, the main character wasn't Luke Skywalker. You probably know this. Originally, the main character of Star Wars was a person by the name of Starkiller.
Yes.
Fun fact, instead of a young man, Starkiller was a girl. A young girl.
But that just make Galen Merrick female.
No, I just think it's absolutely hilarious, because imagine how different the franchise would be if
or just center it around Leia.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. It's like, oh no, the Death Star blew up. Who the fuck blew up the Death Star?
That random ass girl!
A random ass girl named Starkiller. What the fuck? Imagine the psychological fuckery that would cause.
That would be a lot of psych fuckery.
Exactly. But then, of course, in later drafts, the character was changed to... Okay, they kind of changed the name around a little bit, but it kind of changed the appearance of Starkiller. Like, it specifically... I shit you not, they changed from a little girl to a short person.
Well, I think they had already hired on Warwick Davis, so...
And then it changed them back again to a 65-year-old general, rather than a youthful character.
That's dumb.
Yeah, and then it went back to the youthful character again. And eventually they landed on Luke Starkiller.
Nope.
Fun fact, Luke actually came from George Lucas's nickname in high school.
Oh.
And one of the reasons why Lucas reflected his own identification with the character of Mos, which I think, as you and I are creators, we can sympathize with this a lot, because we put all of our soul into our characters.
Oh yeah, you put a piece of yourself into a character, no matter if it's for D&D, a novel, whatever, any creative property.
Yeah.
When you create a character that you truly fall in love with, the concept and everything, like me with Liel and my Night Sister character Kalara, that is a piece of my soul there.
Yeah, and I think it's something we can both connect with George Lucas with on. And Luke Skywalker, or I should say Luke Starkiller, was his character, heart and soul and all that. He also kind of... I wouldn't say Luke is a direct comparison to George Lucas, but he put a lot of similarities into Luke's backstory and all of that.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Like, for example, once we go into Luke's story, like, there's an entire theme where Luke wants to get off of Tatooine and explore the galaxy, but his uncle wants him to stay and run the moisture farm, run the family business.
Yeah.
That's something that Lucas really relates to, because his father wanted him to continue the family business of selling office supplies instead of attending film school.
Damn.
Yeah. Additionally, the trauma that Luke went through also takes hints from George's own experience, such as when he got into a car crash in 1962.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, which almost killed the future director.
If that had happened, we would have never had what we have.
Nope. All the butterfly effects around here.
Yep.
So it's a good thing George Lucas survived that car crash. But let me see. And of course, Lucas himself has stated that he puts parts of themselves in Anakin, Luke, and reflecting that over his life. He at one point wanted to be more like a Han Solo-like person, like the lovable rogue who could get away with anything. But as he grew older, he found himself to be more of a Skywalker, the goody two-shoes kind of person.
The older he gets, the more I see him more as Ben Kenobi.
That is very true, yeah.
Not Obi-Wan, not the general. I see old man Ben.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's something that we always can relate to, because I think, like, I'm not sure if it's the same with you, Hannah, but I'm sure a lot of people at one point in their life would be like, I want to be like Batman or one of those super badass characters. But as we grow up, we want to be more humble, be more like Spider-Man, if that makes any sense.
I don't think I've ever related to that, but I have wanted that. Who doesn't have a power fantasy?
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's the like cornerstone of every creative soul's first step into creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said,
it's, to be fair, my cringe era started out with OCs, but it's gotten me to the point where I know to give my characters flaws and put a bit of myself into them, flesh out their backstory, you know?
Yeah, I think that's another connection I see with George Lucas wanting to be more like a Han Solo at first, but then slowly gravitating towards Luke Skywalker as this. Luke Skywalker is the very personification of a all-loving hero. He always sees the good in people, always wants to do the right thing.
I've also seen people refer to him as golden retriever energy.
Yeah.
Luke is pure golden retriever energy.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker is pure golden retriever energy, and that's what I absolutely love about him. He has a similar, I guess, themes for like other characters like Spider-Man or Poe from Kung Fu Panda and all that.
Yeah, that kind of gung-ho, like, let's go do this, not feeling depressed about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, seeing the good in people. Because Spider-Man, he always talks to his villains and trying to help them through their issues. And same thing with Poe, so on and so forth, which I think is a very admirable trait.
It's funny, especially for a fucking panda. Anyway.
But yeah, and then eventually, fun fact, from what I've seen in my research, Luke Starkiller was still relevant even when they began shooting Star Wars.
Really? So even when they got Hamill hired and everything, they still went with Starkiller?
Yep.
Oh.
But this is kind of an interesting part because there was that famous scene where Luke introduces himself to Leia as like, I'm Luke Skywalker, blah,
I'm here to rescue you.
I'm here to rescue you. From what I've seen in my research, it was basically Lucas had to reshoot that scene because some executives at Fox was like, I don't like the main character being called Starkiller. Change it to something else.
Well, Skywalker worked and it fit perfectly.
Exactly. So it's those nice little things that go into film production.
Imagine if they had stuck with that. Anakin would have been named Anakin Starkiller.
Yeah.
No fucking shit that would have caused him to fall to Vader.
So on the nose, it's not even funny. But of course, the surname of Starkiller, even though it would be kind of abandoned for a little bit, it would be brushed off in like future Star Wars media, like
until they brought it back for Force Unleashed.
Yeah, that's the most famous example. But one of the first examples is actually in Knights of the Old Republic with
Bendak Starkiller.
Yep,
I remember the Mandalorian.
That was the very first holder of a Starkiller name in canon.
I
anyway.
didn't even think about that
until
you said that.
And of course, Galen Merrick, aka Vader's Secret Apprentice, who is the most famous holder of a Starkiller name. It's also referenced a couple of times in later media. Like, for example, in the Fate of a Jedi series, Luke kind of talked about his reluctance to utilize an ability that drove Jason to the dark side, and he jokingly said he doesn't want to transform into Darth Starkiller. So nice. That's little
fun meta humor.
It is very fun meta humor. But aside from that, let's talk about the face of Luke Skywalker briefly.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, the myth, the legend himself.
The man, the myth, the legend, the OG.
Yeah. Originally, Mark Hamill wasn't exactly a big name before he landed the role of Luke Skywalker. Like, he only appeared in like a couple of soap operas here and there.
Well, a lot of people got their start on soap operas.
Yeah. Also a couple of sitcoms such as the Texas Wheelers. He also appeared in the pilot episode of 8 is Enough, this is all a bunch of shows that are too old for us and we wouldn't know about. But
one show I wouldn't be surprised that everybody kind of got their start from, Days of Our Lives. Because that show is still fucking going.
Not surprising.
And that is as old as not my Nana, but her mother.
Jesus Christ. It kind of... I know it's kind of unrelated, but it just reminds me of Grey's Anatomy and how it's still going on. But anyway, the story behind how Mark Hamill got into the auditions is kind of interesting. You remember the actor named Robert Englund?
Yeah.
The guy who plays Freddy Krueger.
Krueger.
He was a good friend of Mark Hamill, and he was auditioning for Apocalypse Now. And he came across the hall where the auditions for Star Wars were being held. And he was like, you know, my buddy Mark Hamill would fit the role of Luke pretty well.
Oh my god.
So, thanks to Freddy Krueger, we do have Mark Hamill as Luke.
Well, technically he retired from the role, but he will always be Freddy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he and Mark Hamill were legit good friends.
That's amazing.
Which is bonkers to think about.
That's very bonkers to think about.
And I think it's also kind of funny because I remember there was like one story where Mark Hamill's agent told Robert Englund to not talk about that story because they, quote unquote, lined up Mark Hamill with the audition anyway.
Bullshit.
Yeah, massive bullshit. But anyway, so Luke... why do I keep saying Luke? Mark Hamill.
Mark.
Yeah. Mark Hamill, initially when he was auditioning for Luke Skywalker, he didn't know that he was going to be the main character. He thought that Han Solo, who's being played by Harrison Ford, is the main character. That he's some sidekick for comedic effect.
If only.
If only. On the bright side, he did foresee that Star Wars was going to be a big hit. And he asked his agent to sever previous contracts with the other sitcoms that he was a part of.
If that was not a glimpse into the future, I don't know what is.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of a minor note, but one of the actors who was confirmed to have auditioned for Luke was a man by the name of Ben Burt. I'll probably send a picture later, but basically... he's not exactly an actor. He's a editor / sound designer. This motherfucker was the guy who made some of the most iconic sounds in the entirety of the Star Wars franchise. He created the sound effects for the lightsaber, Darth Vader's breathing, and a bunch of other sound effects.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it just reminds me of the voice actor for Grievous, who was a sound designer.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. At the age of 26, Mark Hamill landed the role of Luke Skywalker. This motherfucker was younger than I am right now.
He's a year older than I am.
Yeah.
And he got the role of a lifetime. What the fuck am I doing with life?
You motherfucking lucky bastard, Mark Hamill. I would love to meet you one day, but goddamn.
Of course we like him for, playing Luke, but... he is a staple of both of our childhood.
Oh, yeah.
For his role as the Joker.
Uh-huh, yep. At one end, he is the all-loving hero who sees the good in everybody.
And then complete other end, fucking nuts.
The embodiment of pure chaos itself. I love this man.
Yes.
But, so before I continue on, of course, we do know about the minor story where he got into a car crash and he had to reappear in the holiday special with a massive scar and everything.
No, judging from the makeup and the quality of the special, because that quality was shit.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like he had banged up his face and they tried to cover it with makeup, not successfully.
Yeah, that happened when they were shooting the last scene.
That sucks.
Yeah, but thankfully Mark Hamill survived.
And he pushed through it.
Yes, he did. What a motherfucking Chad.
Yes.
Now for something a little bit funny. Of course, even though Star Wars, as we know, is a successful franchise, Mark Hamill had his own side of difficulties with George Lucas, such as a lot of the dialogue, which Mark Hamill said in later interviews was lengthy and archaic, like too unnatural for a human being to say. Fair. There was this old interview I remember listening to before I picked you up. He was all like, So there was this one specific line that he literally begged George Lucas to take out of, because it sounded so unnatural. I'm going to attempt to read it for you because, oh boy, I'm going to jumble across my words so many times. Anyway, this was like when he was talking to Han Solo when they came across Alderaan and the remains of Alderaan.
Okay.
And Luke says, "But we can't turn back. Fear is their greatest defense. I doubt if the actual security there is any greater than it is on Aquila or Solus, and that there is more likely directed towards a large-scale assault."
That was gibberish. What the fuck?
Even Mark Hamill was like, "George, who talks like this?"
I would have been like, George, what the fuck are you smoking?
And I remember Mark Hamill was like, "George, people are going to throw vegetables at us, not you." What the fuck?
Pretty accurate, considering I recently did some VA work. It's like reading out the line. What the fuck is this line flow?
Yeah, welcome to the world of voice acting or acting in general, Hannah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go with the flow, but every so often
there's a line that makes you go, what the fuck is this?
But no, I
love that.
Once again, as a film nerd, I absolutely love retelling these kinds of behind-the-scenes stories.
They're fun. Sorry that we're not actually getting into the actual one, but, Mark Hamill is just so important to Luke Skywalker as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've listened to a lot of his more recent interviews when the sequel trilogy was still ongoing, so to speak.
We don't talk about those.
And it's kind of funny because I think he was at a convention because he was all like, yeah, they told me that I was coming back as Luke Skywalker. They had me go to the gym 2 times a day to work out and all that and get buff and all that. And
bullshit! He doesn't. Oh my god.
And then he was all like, "I haven't seen the script yet, so I assume I'm going to be doing a lot of combat scenes, da da da." And then
oh shit.
No, I think I'm not sure if I'm going to quote this correctly, but he was like, "They haven't prepared me correctly. It's like I go on vacation and then I come back and I ask, how did it go? Well, your cat died. What? Well, how did my cat die? But what else did you want me to say? Well, you could have prepared me. How he died."
Exactly. That's fucked.
But no, it was funny. He was like going through the script and he's like, "Okay, Luke Skywalker, where am I? Da da da." And then he was like, "The one moment I thought Luke was going to enter the scene was through the forest. When Poe is getting beat up by Kylo Ren and then the lightsaber moves and it flies through the air." And I was thinking,
no, it's fucking Rey.
And I was thinking, "Oh, what a good entrance. Oh!
What the fuck?
Rey caught it? She didn't even go to Dagobah for training!"
Exactly! He pointed out the worst fucking plot hole in the entire sequels. It's just like, what the fuck?
It was also so funny because that entire interview, he was being like a sarcastic, like, I actually like when I play in movies and I'm not doing much, I'm not in top billing, and I'm working out, when all it led up to was me turning around, lifting my hood. That was it.
This should just become a catchphrase of this fucking channel. Wasted potential!
Exactly. And I think that's another thing.
Fuck you, Mickey!
That's another thing I like about Luke Skywalker. Why did I say Luke Skywalker? Mark Hamill, because unlike Harrison Ford, he is invested into the character of Luke. Like, Harrison Ford's like...
Harrison Ford doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's all like, "I don't care, kill me off. I don't want to play this character anymore." And Mark Hamill's like, "I love Luke Skywalker." And, Mark Hamill isn't the creator of the character. George Lucas is. But
that's his character.
Yeah, exactly. And he wants to play it correctly and give him feedback, but of course he's got to be the professional, do whatever the director wants him to do, so on and so forth. It's very unfortunate, but thumbs up to the man for going through it like a trooper.
Not only that, but being the voice of our childhoods.
Yeah. And of course, with Mark Hamill being a lot older now, he's not going to be able to sound like Luke Skywalker anymore. Sounds more like the Joker now.
Unfortunately. But that also helps him play into more villainous roles like the Major in The Long Walk.
Oh, yeah.
Go see that. That was such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, I just love Mark Hamill because he's very down to earth. He's very humble. I know a lot of people don't like him for his political views, but like he's a jaded old man at this point. I don't think I blame him at this point.
Who does?
Yeah.
But okay, this is the last tangent I'm gonna go off on, and then we will actually focus on the character itself.
Yeah.
There is a significant. Just talking about Mark Hamill, he has local significance for us.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the what was it? It was the John. No.
I think it was an unreleased record.
Yeah,
of
there we
John
go.
Williams music that only a few people got to have. It was found in a storage unit, brought to the local Bookmans here in Flagstaff. Someone got a hold of Mark Hamill and he was like, "Holy shit!" And he came here, met with them, signed it, and they still have it on display.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put a picture in the podcast.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, now you know why we love Mark Hamill so much. He is a godsend.
Yes.
Not only for the film industry, but to Star Wars and everything about it.
Just as fans.
Yeah. But yeah, before we go off on another tangent with Mark Hamill here, let's actually get to the meat of the actual episode that is about Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Oh, man. So yeah, Luke Skywalker, very obviously, is the son of Anakin and Padme, and the sibling of Leia.
Sibling. He's her brother.
Well, yeah, but...
I believe he was born first.
Yeah, Luke was born first,
He's
followed
the
by
eldest.
Leia. And both of them were born 19 years before the Battle of Yavin on Polis Massa. But of course, they were separated at birth, you know, the entire dealio. Leia goes to Alderaan, while Luke goes to Tatooine with his uncle and aunt.
Yep.
And of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi is watching over the boy as his guardian, blah, blah,
Go
blah.
watch the Obi-Wan show. I need to watch the Obi-Wan show.
I know a lot of people don't particularly like the Obi-Wan show, but I think it's pretty good. It's just another case of it needs more time in the oven.
Oh, yeah, but I saw, like, people are saying about the little girl who plays young Leia. It's like, that girl perfectly matched Carrie Fisher's energy to a T.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, 10 years old.
Yeah. But no, I want to talk about the Obi-Wan and Vader scenes, but I know you need to watch it first. But anyway, but yeah, like in the first couple years of his life, Obi-Wan would be watching over Anakin. You know, at first Kenobi would visit the homestead every day, you know, watching over him. And at first
brought him a toy he still played with at 19 years old.
And of course, like, he's trying to be very subtle about it, like avoiding the gaze of Lars so that they would not interfere, you know, the classic thing. Living on the farm, Luke didn't have access to the HoloNet, like, at all. He's literally in the middle of buttfuck nowhere.
He's in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Who has access to the internet in buttfuck nowhere?
Yeah, and that's kind of the important thing to remember about Luke Skywalker and his naivete, I suppose.
Yeah, he is. Everyone's like, oh, I don't like Luke. He's too dumb. That's the point.
That is exactly the point, yes. But every once in a while, like when Uncle Owens went out on business, his Aunt Beru would actually take him to Anchorhead to let him see images of forests, rivers, and oceans. Something you don't normally see on Tatooine in the first place.
Well, it's like a very funny anecdote I saw on, like, it was Tumblr or something, a small comic that they did. Obi-Wan tried to teach Anakin how to swim.
Oh, I did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah.
That must have been a trip for him.
It was, Kit Fisto's like, what are you doing? Obi-Wan's like, I got him in the pool, but Anakin sat at the bottom of the pool, using the Force to push the water away.
You know, I actually can't see that happening with Luke at such a young age.
This is unnatural.
But onto that, by the age of 3, Luke found pleasure in playing with starship models made specifically for him by Obi-Wan.
Aww.
Like, of course, Obi-Wan couldn't directly, give a starship models to Luke. But he would actually place them right next to the gravestone of Shmi Skywalker.
Oh.
And Beru would find it and give it to Luke from there.
Still, that's a sweet way of just... It's so not significant, but it's just like Obi-Wan showing Shmi. It's like, I'm caring for your family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like heartstring pulling. That makes me sad.
It does. Yeah. Poor Obi-Wan in general. Poor man.
Yep.
We'll get to his episode. I'm going to try and stay on track as much as I can. But anyway, I do like that in canon, they do expand more on Luke's childhood and all that. Like, there was this one time, so on Tatooine, they have what is called water taxes. Because, in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, water is hard to come by.
Yep.
There were a couple of thugs sent by Jabba to get the water tax from Valar's homestead. And Ben would actually interfere and, chase off the thugs. And Luke, he would actually... he was exposed to this intense situation. He's like, again.
Couldn't have been more than like 4 years old. Again.
Yeah.
Owen and Beru's like, what the?
No. No, like Owen and Beru were trying their hardest to temper Luke's fascination with, beyond the homestead, like any parent would with their child. In all honesty.
Yeah. I mean, I think there is a scene in the Obi-Wan show where it's like, oh, he's not your son. Owen's like, yes, he is. That is my boy. So that it just shows both Owen and Beru and Bale and Brea love these kids.
Yes, they do.
Even though they weren't theirs.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing I do like about Owen and Beru.
Yeah.
I do remember there was this, I know this is kind of more towards Obi-Wan, but there was this one time where Obi-Wan was working for the Jawas, like protecting them from raiders and all that.
Uh-huh.
And then as payment, he asked the Jawas to drop off bits of scrap metal for Luke to play around with. Because, he wants him to fulfill his destiny as, I want to say the chosen one, but...
No, I think he knew because Anakin was, always tinkering with shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, he's his son. I know he's going to like this.
Yeah, exactly. And Luke is very excited about this, but Owen, he took the scrap metal, went back up to Kenobi's hut, dropped the scrap metal in front of him. He's like, stay away from Luke.
Rude.
But it's that overprotectiveness, which you can't understand.
I know.
But yeah, like Owen would do his best. Like he famously told Luke, when Luke asked, what was my father like? What did he do? And he's like, oh, you don't want to know about him. He was a former pilot for a bunch of, he was a spice runner. He was not a very good man, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, what was my dad like? He was a drug smuggler. Leia, what was my dad like? He was a very good knight. Bruh.
I mean, technically they're not wrong.
Anakin, I don't get why Owen would describe his own half-brother as a drug runner.
I mean, I wish I knew more about how much Owen and Beru actually knew what happened to Anakin. I do have a feeling that they kind of know that Obi-Wan, quote-unquote, killed Anakin. Because there was that one scene in Kenobi where, Obi-Wan was like, we need to train him so that he could fulfill the role of a Jedi Knight. And then Owen was all like you did with his father.
Oof! Oof!
Yeah.
How fucking mean!
Not wrong, again. You could understand.
Not wrong at all, but still.
Oof! But turn on the oof meter to maximum. But anyway, so Luke would actually develop signs of force sensitivity when he was 6 years old. And he kind of discovered this by unintentionally finding a lost screwdriver underneath a couch.
Yoink!
It's like that moment where you're just, hey, have you seen the remote? Oh, it's right here.
No, it's just, I picture it as it was under the couch. He couldn't reach it because baby arm.
Yeah.
Yoink!
And then afterwards, Owen was trying to tell him, no, you did not find the screwdriver. You put that there on purpose. You know, trying to put that doubt into his head to not repeat the stunt again.
Make him feel like he was in the wrong house.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's understandable why he would be so overprotective, but damn, Owen. But, okay, there's this one interesting story I want to throw out there. On one occasion, Luke was 10 years old, and like he was asking about his father, Owen would refuse to tell him, and then, you know, he did the classic thing kids would do at his age when they disagree with their parents. He ran away.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is Tatooine, and he got caught up in a sandstorm.
Yep, nowhere to really go, buddy.
Yeah, in the storm, Luke found a vision of a tall, dark figure. And then shortly afterwards, he found a young boy, similar in age to him. You want to know what the name of that boy is?
Anakin.
Annie.
Annie. Oh, he got a glimpse of his dad from the past.
Yeah, and Luke and Annie, you know, they had very similar interests. Like, they want to explore beyond Tatooine. They want to tinker. They want to fly as pilots, so on and so forth. And they would explore the deserts together, like trying to find help and all that. In their shenanigans, they had to run away from a bunch of sand people, and Luke picked up one of the gothy sticks that the sand people normally use. They would be chased by Wombrats, and they would be chased into a cave where they found an astromech droid. And Annie decided to rig the astromech to explode in hopes of, you know, attracting help and all that. Instead, they attracted a very angry crit dragon.
Oh, shit.
And Luke was trying to get away from the crit dragon. And he was like, Annie, what do we do? And Annie's just gone.
Oh, fuck.
And from sheer instinct, Luke picked up the gothy stick and he just yeeted at the crit dragon's neck, killing it instantly.
So at 10 years old, Luke ran away from home, met the child version of his father, displaced probably by the Force.
Yeah.
And killed a fucking crate dragon.
With a gothy stick, yeah. And then after that, Luke just passed out from sheer exhaustion. And then afterwards, Owen and a rescue party found Luke, but they found no trace of a crit dragon. Nor Annie.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Owen was all like, oh, you probably hallucinated it. You probably dreamed it, Luke. And Luke's like, no, that was not a fucking dream.
Nah. Nah.
Nah. I just think it's a fun little story that I wanted to throw out there.
That is very fun. That was really cute.
Yeah. And then, of course, we continue on a little bit. Luke would actually have his first encounter with Ben when he was 13 years old.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a TLDR version. He was basically flying his T-16. I'll probably share a picture of this real quickly. The T-16 is basically the closest equivalent that he has to like a motorcycle and stuff like that. God damn, why do I have so many pictures? Here we go. Yeah, that's what the T-16 Skyhopper looks like. I know it's still loading on my end, sorry.
Oh, I need to connect to your Wi-Fi.
Yep.
I wonder.
There we go.
That's the same Skyhopper, relatively the same Skyhopper, that you fly in mainly on Voss and all of the other bigger planets.
Yeah.
On in Spator. That's cool.
It is pretty cool. And he was cruising his T-16 down Beggar's Canyon with his childhood friend, Wendy, and hold on to your butts for this, Hannah, Wendy Starkiller.
It's like, if we can't use it for our main character, we're going to give it to his best friend.
I find it absolutely hilarious how most of the kids from Tatooine have such edgy names.
Yes.
Like Luke Skywalker, we have Starkiller, we have Dark Rider, we'll get into a little bit.
Biggs.
But anyway, so he and his friend Wendy They were cruising down Beggar's Canyon in his T-16, and unfortunately, they were basically looking to shoot at womp rats. You know, what else are they going to do out here?
The fuck else is there to do?
But unfortunately, they crash landed, and they had to hide from a bunch of sand people, which, you know, they were able to avoid. Unfortunately, an actual crit dragon would corner them. Childhood trauma, oh no! But this is where...
it builds character.
Yeah. But this is where Obi-Wan comes in to save their asses by scaring away the crit dragon. And then he helped the two boys by getting them a tamed dew bag because they had nowhere else. They didn't have any sort of transportation. Their skyhoppers fucked. So they gave them the dew bag and sent them on their way. And that's when Luke knew about the crazy old hermit from Beggar's Canyon. At 13 years old, let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that was like 6 years before New Hope, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, as Luke grew into his adolescence, his uncle's methods of discouraging his adventurous tendencies ended up creating friction between them, like adolescents do when they, you know, get their hormones in and all that. As Luke always dreamed of getting away from Tatooine, flying amongst the stars. He even engaged in a lot of racing on his own land speeder. He even had a knack for mechanical repairs, like his father would.
It's just copy-paste Anakin.
Yeah, pretty much. While he mostly lived on the farm, Luke would cultivate his own group of like-minded friends on Tatooine. The first being Wendy, which you saw earlier. Some other ones named Deke, Cammy, Lonazer, and Fixer. But the two other friends, and the main ones, are Janik Sunbur, aka Tank, and Biggs Darklighter.
Who he would eventually meet back up with in the Rebel Alliance.
Exactly. And Biggs Darkrider does have his own little story I would love to dive into one of these days, but this episode's about Luke, not him.
Exactly. What the fuck is that mustache?
He's got a porn stash right there.
Exactly. Holy porn stash.
But no, like, Luke, along with these two friends of his, would have dreams of joining the Imperial Academy and becoming ace pilots. Though in Luke's case, it was less of wanting to join the military because he had personal disdain for the Imperial rule and all that. Dark Rider was the friend that Luke looked up to the most and even considered him to be like a big brother to him.
Yeah.
However, Biggs, he would leave for the Academy a year before the Battle of Yavin, much to Luke's pride, frustration, and jealousy. Like, hey, cool, I still have to stay on the farm, motherfucker.
That is also where we really see Luke wanting to go to the Academy just to get the fuck off Tatooine.
Yeah, very understandable in Luke's case.
I don't blame him one bit. There's nothing to fucking do.
No, there is not. Of course, Beru and Owens want him to continue on the family business.
Owen wanted to. Beru was like, let him go do his own thing.
Yeah, and if it
Beru was being a good mom.
Yeah, Beru was being a very good mom. Good on you, Beru. And he most likely would have stayed that way if it wasn't for the arrival of two certain droids.
Yep.
R2 and C-3PO. And yeah, Luke's life would change from forever at that point.
Is there any point, like, in a certain point of view or whatever, when R2 finally sees Luke, it's like, oh, I know you.
Not that I remember at the top of my head. I wouldn't doubt it.
You would fucking think?
I
would.
literally
saw him be born.
That is very true. Yeah, I gotta look into that when we do R2 one of these days.
You look at this kid, it's like, oh, I know you. What? Nothing.
Yeah. And then eventually, like, we've seen the entire movie of New Hope. He would go out, rescue R2, get knocked out by a bunch of sand people, go to Obi-Wan.
Fucking insert New Hope.
Yeah, insert New Hope. His family get killed. They go to Mos Espa, go to Alderaan, infiltrate the Death Star, rescue Leia, blah, 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 blah. Then we go to Yavin 4, where okay, so first off, even though it doesn't show this in depth in the movies, Luke didn't just plop right in there and immediately go off to fight for the Empire and all that. They actually put him through a couple of flight simulators to see what his capability is and all that.
You wouldn't think, oh, he's immediately an ace pilot, like the bullshit they did with Rey. He needs to train.
Yeah, exactly. Like, number one, I think it's also, I suppose, a hand-wavy thing. The X-Wing was developed by the same company that made the T-16, so their interiors are very similar and all that, the control schemes and all that.
So he already knows how to fly.
Yeah, exactly. But he still had to go through the flight simulations. And he was specifically pitted up by himself against an entire fleet. And it's, of course, a simulated fleet, but still against an entire fleet. And in that simulation, he only died 2 times, which is nuts.
Thrawn, on the other hand, is like, I can do better.
Pretty much. But Rebel High Command were like, God damn, that is impressive. Okay, we're going to make this young man into a X-Wing pilot. And then that's where he, met up with Biggs Dark Rider. Like, I'm so glad to see you again. It'll be just like old times flying in Beggar's Canyon, blah, blah, blah.
No.
We'll share stories after this mission is over. Rest in peace, Biggs.
Rip Biggs.
Rip Biggs, unfortunately. And then, after he blew up the Death Star, Luke immediately became a legend in the Rebel Alliance.
Well, of course.
Yeah. I think it's also pretty hilarious because on the Empire side, they heard about the Death Star blow up and they're like, who the fuck is responsible?
And I have seen both comic versions of when Vader found out, or no, not the original comic version and the canon version of when Vader found out who exactly did this.
I absolutely love the original comic.
The version is very suspenseful.
It is.
I mean, the glass Vader is standing in front of just fucking shatters. It's like, oh no.
Motherfucking Boba Fett tells him, I found the name of a rebel pilot, Luke Skywalker. I'm gonna leave now.
But in the EU, it's very...
Yes?
I don't even know the word, because I recently saw it.
And it's kind of over the top?
It is kind of over the top.
But you gotta admit it, it's pretty freaking scary, but also kind of hilarious.
It is.
Because number one, Vader hired a bunch of bounty hunters to find who the pilot of the X-Wing that blew up the Death Star was. And the bounty hunter's like, I got his name right here. You lie. No, I got a recording right here. Luke Skywalker. And then he just crushed the recorder because he was so angry.
Yeah, that it is a good way to portray Vader's anger. But to me, the glass he's standing in front of fucking splintering.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh.
I'm not sure if you listened past that, but after he killed the bounty hunter, they were in an aviary at the time, and all the birds kept repeating, Skywalker, Skywalker. And the Vader was so pissed off, he ordered his stormtroopers to just burn it to the ground.
And meanwhile, Thrawn is just like, oh, Skywalkers are a thing in my culture. Anakin, nerd.
Oh man, yeah, there's going to be a lot of funny things I'm going to talk about when we're diving into Luke's story because it is awesome, but also kind of funny. So after the entire ceremony and everything where Luke got the medal, he was so invigorated by this, he could not sleep for the entirety of that night. And he does what adolescents do. He decided to go out on a little joyride in his X-Wing.
Well, fair.
Yeah, he was like, I am so happy. I can't believe this is happening. And he's flying.
I can't sleep. I'm going for a joyride.
Yeah, he was just flying, and R2 is just like his co-pilot. And then he gets a warning that a fighter is following him. He's like, what the fuck? And he realizes it's a TIE fighter that survived the destruction of the Death Star.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, oh shit, okay, I gotta deal with this now. And he kind of comes to the realization that he cannot fight back. Because the X-Wing hasn't got its weapons charged.
So it's just following him.
Yeah. So Luke decided, okay, if you were in Luke's situation and you were being followed by a TIE fighter, what would you do?
Okay, true. First instinct is fire. Because, it's a TIE fighter. Obviously, that's the Empire.
Yep.
Something's following me. Shoot it down.
Yep.
But because he recognized, okay, their weapons aren't charged up, is he just following me?
Okay, so I'll re-clarify. The TIE fighter has its weapons charged up and is legit trying to kill Luke Skywalker. He can't fight back.
Why?
Because the X-Wing, the weapons on his X-Wing haven't been charged up, so he doesn't have any ammunition, so to speak.
Okay.
But going around to that question again, what would you do in this situation?
Hightail it into hyperspace. Like, fuck it, bye!
Okay, good answer, I suppose. But here's what Luke does.
What does he do?
He turns the fuck around and rams into the TIE fighter.
Oh, shit.
Crashing both of them into the surface of the moon.
Oh, okay.
And then they decide to have a little fist fight on the ground. And they were tumbling, struggling amongst each other. And then they threw themselves into the nearby lake. The TIE fighter pilot, he was being weighed down by his flight gear and all that, and he was about to drown. But Luke dragged his ass back to shore, and he was about to, rough him up a little bit. But when he took his helmet off, he was like, oh shit, this guy is around my age.
Oh, okay.
Because, Luke, he's never been in battle before, or at least gotten into a very serious confrontation face to face. He's still...
Yeah, even
at the end of the day, a
X-Wing
kid.
Pilot, he's like taking pot shots and everything.
Yeah, and it's kind of the grim reality. Like, this is war. This guy is the same age as me. I don't want to kill him. I'll just leave him right there. Okay, bye.
Oh,
and then he got
picked. Back to yabbing.
But I just think that's a very funny little follow-up event, because that originated from the original Marvel comics, as with a lot of Luke's journeys.
Okay.
Between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Because, let me put this in perspective. That entire space was 2 years.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what was the gap between that? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, even though he was in the Rebel Alliance for a couple months, he basically became lieutenant within the Alliance.
That's cool.
Which is nuts. But yeah, let me see. Luke would go on a couple of other adventures, like destroying a Star Destroyer called the Liquidator, took down a TIE fighter with his father's lightsaber. He even traveled to many worlds to find a new base for the Rebellion, such as Keeper's Worlds, Akara 2, Droxel. He even ended up in the Unknown Regions at one point.
Oh, fuck.
This guy literally went across the galaxy within a span of a year.
Ending up in the Unknown Regions. Chiss, lock on.
This motherfucker even participated in a pod racing event on Munilist.
Oh, whoop-de-frickin-do. He's just like his dad.
Yay! But this is for a good cause, because he won and secured funding for the Rebel Alliance from that prize money.
Cool.
Yeah. And after that point, the discovery of a pilot who destroyed the Death Star became the #1 priority for both Vader and the Emperor.
Well, duh.
And there were multiple people that were sent to kill Luke, such as this one character named X7. He's basically the perfect assassin and all of that. I'm not going to dive too much into him. Bosk.
HK-47 would have a word.
Bosk was a person who went after Luke. Boba Fett, of course. Funny enough, Bosk went after Luke for different reasons, because he was hired by Jabba the Hutt to go after Solo.
Oh, okay.
And Luke was just connected to him.
He's just like, oh, 2 birds with 1 stone.
And there's even this one individual, a Force-sensitive Tusken Raider, named, I shit you not, Ko'ur.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say Arsharon Head.
No,
okay, what?
Not him yet. Anyway,
Yes.
But no, this Force-sensitive Tusken Raider, people jokingly call him whore. But no, this Tusken Raider followed Luke to avenge his tribe, because Luke is the son of the quote-unquote demon outlier that killed his tribe so many years ago.
The god of death?
Yep. Yep, Vader is literally the god of death in Tusken culture.
Yep.
And then, of course,
Or not Vader, Anakin.
yeah. In the EU, I'm going to briefly dive into the first time Luke met Vader. Well, quote unquote met Vader. There's an entire comic series. I would love to dive into it one of these days. But long story short, both Luke and Leia found themselves on the world of Mimban. And they were doing an undercover mission and all that. They both have these slick, skin-tight black outfits. I'll send to you in a little bit.
Okay.
And they heard about this ancient relic called the Kyber crystal. Not the Kyber, it's more of a Kaibur.
Oh.
This was way before.
Okay.
This is way before the Kyber crystal was actually a thing in Star Wars lore.
Very flattering for Carrie.
Yeah. This is the Kyber crystal. It's just a big mystical gem.
Yeah, not exactly a lightsaber crystal.
No, it's way too big for that. Anyway,
That would make probably a whole temple's crystals.
Oh yeah. So basically Luke and Leia heard about the Kyber crystal, which is in the temple of Pojima. So, you know, classic Indiana Jones sort of shit. And at that temple, Vader was hot on their asses because he wanted the Kyber crystal, but he also heard that the pilot of who blew up the Death Star was there. And this is where he crossed blades with Vader for the very first time.
Okay.
In the EU anyway. So at the time, Luke was basically trapped under a boulder. And Leia was the only one who could actually do something. And Luke was telling her to, you know, run away. But Leia decided to pick up a lightsaber and fight Vader herself.
Cool.
Yeah. And Vader was like, oh, really? You're coming at me with a lightsaber. By the way, there's another image of Leia about to fight Vader.
I mean, a lot of people like Leia for her diplomatic, you know, being essentially this generation's Padme, but also she ain't no slouch. She's
No, she is
a
not.
pushover. She can and will kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly. But gotta appreciate Leia's bravery despite going up against friggin' Darth Vader.
Yes.
But no, like, she picked up a lightsaber and decided to fight off Vader, who admittedly was merely humoring Leia. Like, he was holding his lightsaber one-handed, like, haha, you're merely a child trying to play with fire. I am the master of a flame, blah, blah, blah. You know, that classic thing. But of course, Leia was able to score a couple of good hits on Vader. And then Vader was like, I'm done playing with
Playtime's
you.
over.
Yeah,
I'm fucking done with
playtime
this.
is over. And before that, Luke was telling Leia, it's suicide. Kill me and yourself.
Just fucking run.
Yeah, fucking run. Better, if you're going to use a lightsaber, at least kill me and yourself.
Jesus.
Because, you know, it's motherfucking Vader.
Yeah, essentially it's like either suicide or suicide.
Yeah, exactly. And Vader was all like, I have underestimated you, princess. And he placed both of his hands on his lightsaber. That's pretty much an indication, you know, Vader is serious.
Well, no shit.
But of course, Luke, he was at first being all like, it's suicide, but then he saw Leia actually fighting back. He's like, we may actually have a fucking chance, and he's trying to give a more fucking boulder that's trapping him.
This is before she ever even fucking got Jedi training.
Yep.
Also, the fucking obvious glaring plot hole. Okay, she is force sensitive, yes. That neither of them know. All three of them together don't fucking see that.
Yeah.
But she's still able to normally pick up a lightsaber. When, like we see with the Darksaber in The Mandalorian, clunk.
I think this is also before they actually dived into the lore of a lightsaber.
I know, but still.
But still, it is pretty significant. And Vader was able to, like, put a good slash on Leia across the chest. It basically looked like Leia would be dead. And Luke was like, no! He was able to free himself and pick up the lightsaber and fight Vader himself. And Luke, he was able to hold his ground against Vader because number one, he was within the close proximity of a kyber crystal because, enhances the force around people and all that.
Okay.
And he was also guided by the spirit of Obi-Wan, who's guiding him throughout the battle. Of course. And they were having a pretty heated duel. And Vader, he was being overconfident and all that. But Luke was able to sever Vader's arm, which was holding the lightsaber.
Let me guess, is that where the glove of Vader comes from?
No. I mean, no. This is Mimban. That's on Bespin.
Oh.
But anyway. Am I missing anything? No, I don't think so. But Luke was basically at the end of his rope because you gotta imagine going up against Vader is no easy task. No. Vader has the advantage of being a cyborg and all that shit.
Well, and of course, Anakin was one of the best lightsaber combatants in the Jedi.
Yeah, I heard this is a really good story where this entire event happened, but how do you think Vader was defeated, Hannah?
Something stupid.
Yeah. Are you ready for this?
It's like the fucking, in context of like Sailor Moon, villain of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me.
Okay, I'll describe this for you and then I'll send you the panel. Vader just reaches down to a severed hand, picks up his lightsaber, and what did you motherfucking say? And he was basically all like, playtime is over. This is the end for you. And he starts walking over to Luke, and classic derpy derp villain nonsense. He tripped over his own hand and fell into a nearby pit.
You're fucking kidding me.
I will show you because it's absolutely hilarious. The visible face slap.
What the fuck?
He even says, no!
Yes, that's fucking oh my. The fist of the Emperor should be smarter than this.
I will admit that one panel of him holding the lightsaber actually looks terrifying.
Yeah, and the lightsaber actually looks like a sword.
Yeah, he's all like, "Time to die." No!
My fucking god, he tripped over his own goddamn robot arm.
In supplemental material, I will admit this, it basically gave creator context that Vader was kind of exhausted, but it was dark and everything, and he couldn't get a clear shot of what the lightsaber looked like. But in that one instant, he actually got a good look of his lightsaber. It's like, that looks motherfucking familiar, and he was kind of distracted by it, and he's tripped over the hand.
Fair enough, but still.
I know it's...
Is that my lightsaber? Oh, fuck!
I know, it's very, very goofy, but it's a product of the time.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
So, after Vader has been dealt with, Luke was able to heal Leia with a kyber crystal, because, it's a healing crystal and all that. And they were able to give a fuck out of dodge. And Vader, he's just at the bottom of a pit, like, ah!
No, just, why? Staring up, just, why?
Vader was trapped in that pit for like over an hour, and he was just contemplating to himself, and he's like, I've now found somebody I could use to overthrow the Emperor.
Yeah, just, when you get so angry at something, you just need to sit and mull over it. That's what he was doing.
That's the Legends version of how Luke and Vader met for the first time. The canon version is a little bit more serious, but also kind of lows Lamau.
Okay.
I don't know the greater context, but basically there was a rebel raid that happened, and Vader and Luke were there. And Luke, he heard about Vader was the one responsible for killing his dad. So he decided to go off and face him himself. And I'll actually show you the actual panel, because it is motherfucking funny.
I forgot canon comics exist.
Yep. So it was basically like, you killed my father. I've killed many fathers. You'll have to be more specific.
Oh, right. I've seen this one.
That's literally the first words they exchanged between them. You killed my father. I don't even know who you are.
And of course, he's wearing the drip.
Yep, he's got the drip. And at one point, Vader actually claimed Luke's lightsaber from him, and he was about to finish him off, and he's like, wait a minute, this lightsaber looks familiar.
That's funny. It's just like, holy shit, this is mine.
Where the fuck did you get this?
Which is the fucking perfect way to get a villain to not kill you. What the fuck?
Why are you using my old weapon? How the fuck did that get there?
Then run.
Yeah, exactly. And then Luke got the lightsaber back from him. I like how both the canon and the Legends version, the lightsaber previously owned by Anakin played a significant role in his downfall.
That is very funny.
Yeah, the Legends version was more comical, but still pretty hilarious.
Just the fact that Vader faces off against his son for the very first time, does not know it is his son.
Yep.
And it's just like, what the fuck do you have my lightsaber?
Yep.
Bye!
I do like how Vader even said the classic, no!
Yep.
I think this was legit before the Revenge of the Sith, too.
Fucking God.
But anyway, let me see. There's a couple of other stories. I'm gonna pass over them a little bit. But in the Dark Horse comic, you remember the planet of Jabim?
Yeah.
So in the Clone Wars series, Anakin very famously had to abandon the natives of Jabim to the Separatists to save the clone troopers and all that. And the people of Jabim motherfucking hate the name Skywalker after that.
Oof.
And then you could imagine several decades later, the Rebel Alliance came to free the natives of Jabim from the Empire.
And there's this bumfuck Skywalker with him. It's like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, I have come to save you. Cool. What's your name? Luke Skywalker. What?
Fuck off!
Yeah, they motherfucking hated Luke Skywalker's guts because they shared the same name. And Luke was, you gotta imagine it from Luke's perspective. He came with a huge romanticized vision of how war was done and all that.
Yes, fair enough. But in the Thrawn novels, in the Ascendancy novels, Aralani asked Thrawn, because he mentioned, I met a man named Anakin Skywalker who helped me with this mission. And she's like, Skywalker? That's kind of coincidental, is it not? And he said, oh, it's a common name in the lesser galaxy.
I never thought of that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But kind of a minor one that I want to throw in. At one point, Luke actually fought this ancient Jedi that was possessed by the talisman of Carnus Mur, and he had to fight off a bunch of Raghouls. We'll talk about this certain Jedi character because she's pretty awesome, but just notable events here and there. Luke found a deserted clone trooper that has been passed over from the Clone Wars. He had to pretend that he's a Jedi to convince him to join his side and all that. This is all happened within the span of 2 years, by the way. A lot of shit happened with Luke.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, of course, he's the main character. He has to get into main character hijinks.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a couple of very tragic stories that come with it. One of his childhood friends, Tank, he actually went off and became an Imperial officer. And Luke and Tank actually reunited when Luke was in an undercover mission as an Imperial officer. Like, Luke, so good to see you again. Like, hey, Tank, what brings you here? And then, of course, Tank, he came to realization that Luke is with the Rebels. Is with the Rebels. And you could imagine the massive split that would cause between the two. It is very, very tragic. And eventually Tank would infiltrate the Rebels, betray Luke, try to get Princess Leia, and they had this huge kerfuffle. And there was this famous scene where Luke is like, come on, Tank, let's play. And they go into this huge brawl.
What the fuck is that art of Luke's face?
I know, a lot of unflattering art pieces with Luke around here.
Very.
And now we kind of jump. Okay, I kind of lied. It was a span of 3 years, not 2 years. But still, that's not a large space of time.
Okay.
Eventually, we go to Echo Base. Luke would actually be promoted to commander of Rogue Squadron.
That's cool.
It is pretty cool. He's pretty much an ace pilot. As we've seen in the movie, he gets jumped on by the Wampa. He escapes. He sees a spirit of Obi-Wan who tells him to go to Dagobah. You know, the entire thing.
Insert episode 2. Or no, episode 4.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is where Luke actually starts his training as a Jedi properly this time.
By meeting Frank Oz.
Yay! Yoda! And once again, this is kind of construed because this is a movie. They need to push things forward and all that.
Yeah.
The entire time Luke was on Dagobah wasn't like a couple of days or something like that. It was like, it felt like it was like a few weeks by his perspective.
Okay.
Or some sources say it's a few weeks. Others say it was a total of 6 months. Which is a massive time frame.
I think if Luke had been missing for 6 months, the Alliance would be like, where the fuck did he go?
I think it also makes sense because the Millennium Falcon didn't have a working hyperdrive, so they had to do the old-fashioned way of going to Cloud City, which probably took like several months.
Yeah.
So it makes sense when you take that into account.
I suppose, but it isn't touched on in the movie, so you don't think about it.
Yeah. And then after that, Luke sensed that his friends were in trouble, skedaddles off of Dagobah, went to Cloud City, had his fateful duel with Vader, realized that he's father, and all that, blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards, so he would go on a couple of other adventures, such as falling in love with an enigmatic rebel pilot named Shira Bray, we'll get to her in a little bit, who became a new member of Rogue Squadron, and she and Luke grew to fall in love with each other. However, in this one occasion, the Force basically called out to Luke and told him to fire on Shira.
What?
Yep, and Luke's like, what? Okay, and he fires on her.
Okay.
And basically Luke had this huge guilt, and the Rebel Alliance were like, what the fuck, Skywalker? You killed one of your own pilots!
Okay, what the fuck? And also, what the fuck, friendly fire?
And for this unexplained act, Luke would be stripped of his command and put on trial, thus also shaking Luke's faith in the Force.
What? Something had to be wrong with her. What?
Yeah,
Was she working for the
You're pretty smart, Hannah. After some investigating, Luke actually discovered that Shira was secretly an Imperial spy.
Luke falls in love with the worst fucking people.
Yes, he does. We'll get to that in a little bit because it is hilarious.
Yes.
So yeah, he discovered that, got his name cleared, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple of years went by, Luke became more powerful in the Force. And then he heard about Boba Fett taking Solo back to Jabba's palace, and he decided, okay, now is the time to return back to Tatooine. And he went back to Ben Kenobi's old hut to construct his first lightsaber.
Cool.
Yeah.
At least they give a reason as to why he has one and then a different one in the next movie.
Yeah, there's actually an entire deleted scene where Luke was constructing his lightsaber.
That would have been so fucking cool.
Yeah, but it had to be taken out for, time reasons and suspense and all that.
Damn it.
Yeah, but it is a pretty cool scene. Then he rescues Han Solo. They went to Endor, where he fought his father for the last time, and then redeemed him, watch the entire movie. The Return of the Jedi is ultimately a chef's kiss of cinema.
I know it's a lot of people's favorite movies. It is not my favorite, but it is up there. My favorite is A New Hope.
Yeah. I think I also like the themes that despite all the shit that Luke went through against Vader and the Empire, he still legitimately believes that Vader could be redeemed. Yes. And even motherfucking Kenobi and Yoda were like, I don't know about it.
Yeah, they're both like, no.
He's more machine than man.
Well, obviously, but picture it from their perspective after all they've experienced with Anakin.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
No. But at the end of the day, he was right.
Yeah.
He was able to redeem Anakin again. And even like this was all covered and from a certain point of view.
I still need to read that.
Yeah. Obi-Wan was like, Luke, what are you doing? You need to strike him down now, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, look, whatever. And then he's like, oh, wait. Oh my God. He did it. He actually did it.
I bet Obi-Wan was like, oh no, that whole speech I gave just came true.
But you gotta give Luke...
In the context of episode 3 versus episode 6.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the prophecy did come true, but I fucked up. But
that's another reason why I motherfucking love Luke Skywalker. He is your all-loving hero. He wants to see the good in people.
Exactly, and I think there was a follow-up comic that, not canon or Legends, of course, I think it was fan-drawn, but... You know, where did Luke, it's the in-between between the part, like when the party starts on Endor and when Luke has to bring Vader back.
Yeah.
Leia approached him and was like, what the fuck? And she's like, why? Why?
Yeah.
And he's like, he's my father. And
yeah, what?
And apparently, like, I think the knowledge was also there that they were siblings.
Yeah.
It's like, but he's also your father, and she's like, no, he is
no,
not
I
my
refuse.
father.
Yeah, that's another thing I do like the difference between both siblings. Luke has a lot of his mother, while Leia has a lot of Vader in her.
Leia's absolutely Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. That's the contrast that I love. Like Leia, she lived a very similar life to her mother. Like, she's royalty. She eventually became the senator of her world. Luke, I mean, he wasn't exactly a slave, but he was raised in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and had no way of getting off of his world.
Yeah, they both had very similar upbringings to both of their parents.
Yeah.
But they switch on ya.
Yeah, exactly. Like a good way that was represented to me, this was when I was doing my droid research. I know I'm kind of getting off track a little bit, but this is important. There was the entire story where C-3PO was compiling like a memoir for Chewbacca and having all these interviews. He was interviewing Luke and then Leia. Luke was kind of contemplating about being there when Chewbacca was about to be destroyed by the moon that the Yuzhong Vong made. And he had a lot of these regrets, like how things could have changed. If I had switched place with Chewbacca, we could have saved so much heartaches, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I remember when Ben Kenobi told me about the destruction of Alderaan. I did not understand at the time, but now I do. Now I do. Like, he is very selfless about it. And then it goes over to Leia. Before she was going to do a speech or whatever, and she was being interviewed by C-3PO. And she was conversing with C-3PO like she's sad that Chewbacca is dead, but at the same time, she's kind of glad.
What?
Not for the reasons that you're thinking, but because Han Solo spends more time with Chewbacca
than his own fucking wife.
Yep. And that's one of the things that she's kind of, I wouldn't say thankful about, but it's a very selfish point of view. And she kind of makes a good point, like, C-3PO, I am the leader of the New Republic. People always put me on a high pedestal. They want me to be smiling and waving at a crowd 24/7. It's exhausting. Now I want to spend my private time with my husband, but he's too busy spending time with Chewbacca.
Okay, to put that into a better perspective, it's like, Leia, Chewbacca means as much to you, or Chewbacca means as much to Han as winter does to you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What? Oh, that makes me bad.
I know it kind of paints Leia in a very bad perspective, but I do want to point that out, that Leia is much more emotional and selfish. Pretty much like Anakin is.
Yes, she is.
but she's not exactly happy that Chewbacca is dead, but that she could spend more time with Han Solo now, at least. But anyway, moving on. That's one of the contrasts I like between the two siblings.
Yes.
And then, of course, we continue on after Endor. Luke would go on many other high-profile adventures, such as going to Bakara, where he would negotiate a truce between the Empire and the Alliance to fight back against a new threat. We'll get to them in a little bit. But more importantly, he would set up the new Jedi Order. And once again, there's a reason why I don't want to go into every single motherfucking thing Luke does. Because setting up the new Jedi Order needs its own episode. Because there's an entire story of the recruits that he came across and all that. And then
he had to go planet to planet to planet
Yeah.
looking for Jedi.
Yeah. And then he had to face Thrawn, revived Palpatine, an awakened Exar Kun, the Empire Reborn, the Disciples of Ragnos, Waru, the Diversity Alliance, Yuzheng Vong, the Killeggs, Jason Solo and all the shenanigans he did, and Abeloth.
Whew.
Yeah.
And that's just the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah. Now we go to the fun part. All of the love interests of Luke Skywalker.
This man has had so many love interests. You could call him a male. You could call him a gigolo.
Pretty
Gigolo.
much.
He's a man whore.
It is absolutely fucking hilarious because he has more love interests than Han Solo or Lando Calrissian combined.
Yes, of course, but like everyone knows Mara.
Yep.
Because obviously that's his fucking wife.
Mm-hmm.
But he had other relationships.
I'll have to recount again, but he had 16 love interests that I could find.
He's a whore.
I will do a TLDR for each one of them. Some of them are pretty interesting and very heartwarming. Others, not so much, but I'll get to them as quickly as I can.
Damn, Luke, you're a slut.
Of course, the first and very controversial example, I should say, is Leia Organa. That was before they knew they were siblings.
It's not a relationship. They kissed. That was it.
But it was kind of mutual because Leia was very, very jealous of Luke when he was with other women. But the first one I think is actually kind of adorable is a rebel pilot by the name of Prithvi. She's a Cathalkian pilot. That's the race that Deepa Balaba is from.
Yeah, I kind of noticed with the head jewelry and the markings.
Yeah, she's a talented pilot and supporter of the Rebel Alliance. She was personally selected by Leia to undergo a special mission, blah, blah, blah. And she was training alongside Luke Skywalker, and they were having this flirtatious relationship until they eventually, pursued an actual relationship. She was also force sensitive, so they had that immediate bond between them. And she was so committed to Luke that her professionalism was dwindling. And Leia, she was all like, your attachment to Luke is bad for the mission, sort of thing.
It's like, you know how militaries don't approve of, like, troops mingling?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. But I do like this one scene where she was talking to Mon Mothma about it. Like, we need to do something about this. And Mon Mothma is like, okay, we'll do an investigation, but are we sure this is a distraction for Luke or you?
I think it was more a distraction for Leia.
Yeah. And then, of course, the next one is Donnie, the Zoltron Master Thief. We talked about her a little bit. And it was more like I wouldn't say it was a puppy love sort of thing. It was just more of a, ooh, you're handsome. I want to get in bed with you.
It was more one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's more one-sided, but there was this one story where Luke saw another Zoltron that reminded him of Donnie, and he blushed. And another funny one, Zeta Troll, who is the Imperial officer. She was basically a diplomat for this world, and Luke was undercover as a bounty hunter. And she was trying to, do the classic honey trap thing, like work for me, and I'll scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours sort of situation. And then, of course, the famous one is Shira Bray, who is the pilot from earlier.
And here goes Luke's interest in redheads.
Yeah. So they had a very flirtatious relationship. They had clear chemistry between them. But then the Force decided, no. Kill her. And Shira Bray, she was, so even though Luke shot her ass down, she was actually recovered, and she would become the infamous Lumia.
Oh, shit!
Yep, that's Lumia.
Oh, shit.
The evil X.
The Dark Lady of the Sith.
Yep, literally Luke's first evil X.
Holy Scott Pilgrim.
And then the next one after her is Ten of Shire, who's a crash landing victim. She was enslaved by people called the Serpent Masters. Luke was able to liberate her, doing the classic hero thing of swooping to her rescue, and she was immediately smitten by him. And it was basically a one-sided relationship because she's like, oh, I will do anything for you, Luke. And Luke's like, oh, that's cool. I mean, you're attractive and all that, but I'm committed to the alliance. I'm sorry.
I gotta go do my job.
But he was all like, okay, I don't want to be an asshole to her. So before leaving, he actually gave her a kiss as a remembrance and a tribute to their affection.
Is that one?
Yes, it's
okay.
Actually, it's a little bit further. That's one between him and Lumia.
What? That one?
After that one, yes.
Okay.
A lot of these are just one-offs, as you can tell. The next one is Tula Marcana. She was a member of Clan Marcana, basically a bunch of...
Oh my god, Luke fell in love with a Mandalorian?
Well, mercenaries. Not quite a Mandalorian, but close enough, I suppose. This was basically the first instance of love that Luke experienced in canon, and he was trying to impress her, but unfortunately brought the Empire onto their doorstep.
Of course.
Of course, this resulted in the death of Tula's father, who was pretty much a father figure to Luke at that time, and she was like, she doesn't blame Luke, as he wanted to try doing the right thing, but she cannot look at him without being reminded of that loss.
Aw, that sucks.
Yeah, it's very sad. This one will be less sad. Cybele, who is a mind witch, who decided to seduce Luke as he explored her world.
Okay.
Yeah, classic honey trap sort of thing.
Honeypot.
Yeah. She never loved Luke. She wanted him for his power in the Force. Suck him dry. Well, okay, not that sense, but you get what I mean.
Yep.
And then after Luke killed her, Cybele basically uttered her last words of, I never liked you.
Well, fuck you too, bitch.
Okay, this one is also a little bit more heartwarming. Nakari Kellen, who is a member of a Rebel Alliance and the daughter of a, biolab CEO. She had a personal hatred of Vader, the very reason she joined the Rebel Alliance, who sentenced her mom to the spice mines of Kessel for writing the, I shit you not, the subversive song Vader's Many Prosthetic Parts.
Bruh.
Yeah. Vader took that personally.
Okay.
But of course, I imagine how awkward that first dinner would be. Oh, you motherfucker, you sent my mom to the spice mines of Kessel. Yeah, so? But no, this is covered in a novel where she and Luke had clear chemistry between them. Like, they had a lot of banter. And she would actually give him a little nickname called the Little Noodle Scooter.
Little Noodle Scooter? That's adorable.
It is very adorable. But unfortunately, she died in that mission.
Damn.
And that deeply saddened Luke.
Is that cover art?
Yes.
That's some really cool art.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Canon, by the way. And then the next one, also very brief, but very...
Tenennial!
Yeah, the Visenian Mountain Clan witch who decided to kidnap Luke and said, you're my husband and my slave now.
No, not her husband, just... I am a witch of Dathomir, and you are my slave.
Yep, pretty much.
This fucking Amazon coming at you ass first, ready to kick your ass.
And of course, Luke didn't have the mutual...
Like her.
Yeah, he didn't have the mutual feelings, but...
I mean, he admitted she is pretty.
Yeah.
She is very pretty. But he's like, I'm more dedicated to being a Jedi.
At this point, I think Luke is just used to women throwing at him so often. He's like, okay, just get out. Be gone, fut! Okay, the next one is Alexandra Winger. She's a Force-sensitive woman who is the adopted daughter of his Imperial governor, and she had numerous visions of the Blue-Eyed Man. And she would stumble upon Luke, who she knew as the Blue-Eyed Man.
Okay.
And Luke was basically on an undercover mission, and they just happened to cross paths. And she's like, you! And then she kissed him.
Yeah, I see that in that picture. And this Imperial officer's like, what the fuck?
And then it was just a one-off thing. He's like, bye.
The fuck? That's so dumb.
Okay, that's kind of a lie. She had feelings that she would meet Luke again one day, and she was Force sensitive. And she thought about joining Luke's academy, but she hated the dark side so much and was afraid she would succumb to the dark side. She's like, nah, fam.
Okay.
Like I said, a lot of these love interests are really interesting. A lot of them, not so much either. And then after her is this very elegant looking woman named Jeriel Capistine.
Interesting dress she's got.
Yeah, she's very bougie. She is a member of a Capistine family on Bukhara. She is basically from a noble lineage. She was part of the planet's resistance, and she was part of a delegation that was teaming up with the Rebel Alliance, and she was very, very wary of Luke because she was raised on the idea that Jedi were just warmongers and all that. But
looks at this twink is like, that's not a Jedi.
Yeah, and after they started talking more and more, they developed a lot of chemistry, and they kind of fell head over heels for each other. But unfortunately, after the battle was said and done, Luke was like, you're attractive and all that, but I need to continue my life as a Jedi across the galaxy. And she's like, yeah, I also need to stay on Bukhara and rebuild my planet's government, so on and so forth.
At least it was amicable.
Yeah, and we'll probably explore this story one day, but Luke actually saw a future of what was her name? Gario actually falling in love with another man, and despite his feelings towards her, he didn't want to interfere with that.
Fair enough. That's the same thing he saw with Tenennial and Isolder.
Yeah.
So it's like, go towards him.
Pretty much. And then the next one, all of these women have very complex names. This next one is just simply named Mary.
Okay.
So Mary, she's the inhabitant of his world called Soleil, who helped Luke in the world's resistance to overthrow the Empire, ruin her world, classic thing. Luke fell in love with his woman so hard, he kind of entertained the idea of leaving the Rebel Alliance to help build the government with Mary and all that.
Amazing. She's a blonde, not a redhead.
Yeah, unfortunately, it ended in disaster because the Empire returned with a vengeance, and in the firefight, Mary got shot multiple times.
Aww.
And Luke tried to save her, like, live, Mary, live. And Mary's like, please, help my world, Luke. And she died in his arms.
Aw, that's sad.
And Luke was so moved by this, he went on a roaring rampage against the Empire. But then he remembered that this is not what Mary would have wanted. Vengeance is not the way.
Also, dark side.
Yep. And then after her is Jem Usana, basically one of Luke's first apprentices in the Jedi Order.
Is that her?
No. Go a little bit before.
That one?
That's Mary.
You sent these weird. That one?
Okay. That's, Did I miss her? I probably missed her. Hang on. That's weird. Yeah, I couldn't compile all of these at once. Here we go. That's her.
The Pantoran?
No, she's not a Pantoran. She's from Ossus.
Okay.
Yeah, she is kind of an important character in the Dark Empire series. We'll get to her in a little bit. But basically, Luke sensed the potential in her, and they developed this Force bond, and they kind of fell in love, but she unfortunately died by a bunch of Dark Jedi.
Oh, excuse me.
Don't worry, we're almost there, Hannah. Second to last is Callista Ming.
I was gonna say Callista Ming.
Yeah, Callista Ming. She's technically a Jedi from the Clone Wars, but somehow she got her consciousness trapped in the computers of this super weapon called the Eye of Palpatine. And long story short, there was this woman that sacrificed herself and allowed Callista to inhabit her empty body. And Luke kind of fell in love with her, but Callista means like, no, I no longer have a connection to the Force. I need to find a way to reconnect myself to the Force. And Luke's like, okay. And long story short, she met Abeloth.
Yep, I remember.
And
Abeloth used her as a host.
Yep, and then Luke managed to save her soul, basically, and let her reunite with the Force.
That's cool.
And then the last one, this is not the most impressive one, but I'm just going to mention her. Akana Nora Gospel.
Okay.
She is a fallen Nazi adept who, this was during the Black Fleet crisis. Luke Skywalker was just meditating and she approached him and she was like, hey, I know your mother. What? You want to go on an adventure?
What?
This is a very TLDR thing because we're kind of going low on time.
We're almost at the 2-hour mark, but whatever.
But basically,
people like long videos.
But basically, she claims that she knew Luke's mother, and in exchange for that knowledge, she wanted Luke's help to help find the fallen Nazi temple. You know, go on this entire adventure. Uh-huh. They kind of fall in love with each other, and then Luke found out the truth that she actually did not know his mother, and he's like, be gone, Fut!
And of course, the final love interest that we all know and love,
Mara Jade! Yes! The supreme waifu to beat them all.
Yep, loved her up until her death and still loved her even as she was dead.
Yeah, that was a long-ass list. This is one of the reasons why...
Go see the Mara Jade episode for that one.
Yeah, see the Mara Jade, because, yes, queen! Yeah, as you can see, Luke has had a very interesting love life.
Like I said, he's a slut.
He is a slut. Personally, I do like Prithvi, who is the pilot in the beginning. It's just very, very precious. Like, they had these... she loved Luke so much that she refused to abandon him to the Empire, but she was kind of forced to and nearly died because of it.
The one that just fucking threw me for a whirl was fucking Lumia.
Yeah. Like, ooh, who's this redhead? We'll get to her in a little bit. By the way, that's Lumia. What?
Shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about Lumia in her own episode because she is amazing. But yeah, that is our episode on the man, the myth, the legend, and the man whore, Luke Skywalker.
If only we had made this to 2 hours, we would have beaten out the courtship episode.
Yeah, very likely, goddamn. What did you think, Hannah?
Well, there was not a lot to really... Okay, I did learn some new stuff about Luke's adventures and stuff, and did not know he had that many girlfriends. But I already liked Luke in the first place.
Oh yeah, he is an amazing character. Like, aside from the sequel trilogy, I do like how the canon version actually was fairly consistent with Luke's character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, in Battlefront 2, there was this one mission where Luke basically went to Palpatine's vault, and he had to work with his other main character, who was an Imperial pilot. And they were having these discussions, and Luke was like, you know, there is a different path other than the Empire. And he's like, what? For Rebel Alliance? To do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's just one of many things I like about Luke. Like, he
sees the good in everybody, even if they are so far within the dark side.
Yeah.
He was able to bring them back.
Yeah.
He just peak golden retriever energy.
Big golden retriever energy, or he's a utter Boy Scout.
I mean, what's wrong about that?
Nothing wrong with
A lot
that.
of
Nothing
people
wrong
love
with that.
Superman for being a big blue Boy Scout.
That is true. Superman and Luke Skywalker would absolutely get along.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Batman would look at him and it's like, you're too nice.
You're too nice. You're too soft. And Clark Kent's like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, Clark Kent's like, let's go get some coffee, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, that is our episode of Can Mayonnaise Kill a Jedi? Or, whew, goddamn, that is a lot.
Oh yeah.
This is another reason why I say Luke Skywalker is pretty much like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man has the most love interests out of any other superhero in Marvel. It's not even funny.
Considering Tony Stark is a known playboy.
Yeah. Yeah, Tony Stark, Han Solo, you would think they would have more love interest than Luke Skywalker
Absolutely.
or more fucking Peter Parker. It's absolutely hilarious. But anyway, my motherfucking voice.
That was a lot.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, thank you everybody so much for supporting this podcast up to our 100th episode. I am so happy right now. My throat isn't, but I am so happy. How about you, Hannah?
Made it to 100. Here is to 100 more.
Indeed, 100 more, and I am looking forward to it. And as a little sneak preview for the future episode, which is 101, Jesus, it's a trap.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That is all, folks. May the force be with you. The force is me. What was it?
I am one with the force, and the force is with me.
I am one of the force, and the force is with me, like Luke would always say. How about you?
Put it here and yell.
Any closing statements on your end, Hannah?
If I could say something related to the Night Sisters, I would, but may the force be with you.
May the force be with you, and this is the way.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.